Ladies and gentlemen, it is a big, weird, wild world out there, folks. And here we stand, al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's the Natch, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
That's right, boys and girls, you're listening to the ProBoh Show on this beautiful Tuesday morning. How are we doing out there? If you're lucky enough to be listening live, it's 8:30 Central European Time. For the rest of you, you beautiful, angelic beings who are downloading the podcast, Rob loves you. Thank you. You're looking sexy today. How are we doing in the chat? If you want to join us live and participate in the chat, in the content that we create today, you can do that at twitch.tv/Professional Bohemian. Just like Nessa, Born to Iron Man, Vero, Pedro, how are you doing this morning? Hey, Pedro, looking good today. You're looking good today. Why am I complimenting Pedro? Well, you'll find out. You'll find out in a few minutes. Okay, so what's coming up in the show? In the second half of the show, I personally asked 100 humans this morning to name things they might need if they were going to create a rock concert. Ooh! If you're going to put on, phrasal verb. If you're going to create, put on, bring to the air. Or birth a rock concert, what would you need? And then in the second, also in the second part of the show, we go to Complete the News, where we'll find out what a Fox News host thinks about trying to save the Earth, and we'll find out a little bit about the Barbie movie. Are you excited for the Barbie movie? Is there any interest at all?
No.
This is a weird property for me that I don't understand. I don't understand why we've got a Barbie movie. I don't know. But hey, it's got Margot Robbie, and there's no one needs an excuse to make a film with Margot Robbie. Good for her. But quite a lot of controversy around the movie. Critics, do you think Ryan Gosling is too old to play Ken?
No,
me neither, man. Poor Ryan Gosling, crying into his millions of dollars. How are we doing, Bridge? Good morning, Min, joining us all the way from the Netherlands. So that's in Complete the News. But before we go there, guys, in the first half of the show, we've got an amazing unpopular opinion related to men. Men don't compliment each other enough, was today's unpopular opinion. But before we go there, friends, I'm here, you're here, Natch is here. Let's see what's going on in the world. Let's do it. How are you doing, Natch? How's your Tuesday treating you so far?
Fine, so far.
Yeah, mine too so far. It's going to be a busy day. It's just a busy week. But hopefully by the end of today, I will be more or less caught up with my administrative tasks, and I get back to my editing tomorrow. Tomorrow, Natch and I will be at Real Madrid, Calle Amaniel number 23 at 8:30 for the Vaughan Radio Pub Quiz. If you are one of my listeners right here in Spain, you can join us. But Spain's a very big country, Rob. Don't be lazy. It's only a 3-hour flight from the Canary Islands. Come, enjoy the quiz, then go back home. I don't care. No, if you're there, please do. If you're around Madrid, please do come. Real Madrid. It would be a pleasure to meet you. And if you're in the chat right now and you're coming to the pub quiz, let me know. Okay, so let's see. A man spends... Oh, this is interesting news, Natch. A man spends 93 days at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, and now he's 10 years younger. Yeah, I know. I saved this news article yesterday thinking this can't be true for two reasons. The headline is unbelievable, and it's from The Mirror, a British newspaper. But yeah, apparently it's true. A man spent 93 days at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, and then and upon resurfacing, his body had gained 10 years of life. It's a completely true but weird story. I won't be there, says Min, because he's in the Netherlands. Lazy. I don't like that lack of commitment, actually. But I understand, I guess. The Bridge won't be able to make it. She's in the north of Spain. Lazy too. Did you accidentally make a bad movie recap as news? No. It's in Complete the News today. There's an interesting fact about the Barbie movie. If we only have time for one, we'll do the Barbie movie one because it's funny. Okay, so a retired naval officer, Joseph Dituri, spent over 3 months living in a 100-square-foot pod at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. 100 square foot. I don't know what that is in meters. Let's see if Google can tell us. 100 feet in meters. Let's see. 30 meters square. Dude, what's he complete? That's bigger than my apartment, man. That's like, he's living in luxury. But he couldn't leave the pod. Dude, perfect. I would love that. For sure he had a better dating life than I did while he was under there. So yeah, in a 30 and a half meter square pod. All right. At the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean as part of a study to examine the effects of pressurized environments on the human body. So obviously, you know, our body reacts in different ways. Under the ocean, it's a high pressure, not in terms of stress, although I imagine it's pretty stressful, but in terms of the environment putting pressure on the human body. This experience, which broke a previous world record for living underwater, resulted in notable health improvements. Here's the interesting thing. His telomeres, what's a telomere, you might ask? It's the DNA sequence that at the ends of chromosomes. I had to search for that this morning. So it's a DNA sequence that lives at the end of chromosomes, which typically shorten with age. So these telomeres over time become shorter. Are now 20% longer than before he went underwater, before he submerged. He also has 10 times more stem cells and gets 60 to 60% deep REM sleep at night. Have you ever measured your sleep, Natch?
No, never.
With my little cheap Chinese watch over here, it measures my sleep. Let me tell you, I'm not getting 66% REM sleep. I'm getting maybe an hour a night. So that's interesting. Other positive changes include a 72-point drop in cholesterol, halved inflammatory markers, and increased metabolism. These changes are attributed to the pressure of the deep sea environment, similar to the effects of a hyperbaric chamber, which is known to improve brain and health cognition. Incredible stuff. Would you live, if you could like earn 10 years of extra life, would you live for 3 months under the water?
Yes, of course.
Dude, me too. My family would be sad to let me go. I'd be really happy though. You know, can I have my mobile phone down there? Do I get cell reception, Netflix, internet? Dude, you know, the basics. Life's basics. Can I doom scroll TikTok for hours on end? That's what I want. And then 3 months later, you come to the surface. I'll come to the surface, Natch, after 3 months with long flowing hair. Let's see what people are saying. But is the pressure inside the cabin different? Surely the cabin should be strong enough to withstand the water pressure. Oof, interesting point. Interesting point. It doesn't actually mention that in the article. Dituri, the man who was under the water, suggested that a 2-week stay in such an environment could offer health benefits, likening his pod to the spaceships future astronauts might use to travel to Mars. I'm sure the pressure is somewhat higher, right? I'm sure it's somewhat higher. But yeah, I'm not equipped with that information, Min, although it is a great question. Nessa, where can I buy a ticket to the bottom of the ocean? Exactly. Dude, even if it... I'm going to be honest with you guys. Even if there were no health benefits. Just to get 3 months off of work, Natch? Oh, come on. In complete silence, under the water, no one can get in touch with you. Oh, God. Oh, it'd be like COVID. It'd be like the lockdown. I loved the lockdown. I'm going to be honest with you. The bridge says maybe he has rehydrated like a mushroom. Maybe. Who knows, Bridge? Who knows? So there you go. The story of a man who spent 93 days at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean and came to the surface 10 years younger. Oh, my God. I would definitely do that. Would you be tempted to travel, in the future at some point? Real kind of space tourism will exist. And within our lifetime, I'm not sure. But if you could kind of go to the moon for a week, would you? Would that be something that would interest you?
Maybe if I were old, like an old man, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? That's what I think, It'd be great to see the Earth from another planet or another celestial body. Imagine that. And psychologically, it must do some weird things to your brain, to feel unanchored from the Earth's gravity. It must be a wild experience. All right, more news. Sci-fi coming to becoming reality. Here we go. The tractor beam. Oof. Difficult vocabulary. Tractor, you probably recognize the word. I'm going to find it right here on on DeepL. Tractor. So a tractor is a farming implement, right? It's a kind of a thing you drive and it helps you plow the field. Tractor.
Yeah, the same in Spanish.
Oh, God, I'm thinking DeepL's broken here. Like, tractor, dude. Tractor. So, but a tractor beam. Do you know what a tractor beam is, Natch? Okay, super famous in Star Trek. If you're a Trekkie, you know tractor beam. So a tractor beam is like it's a light, or it's some kind of a beam of energy that pulls things towards it. We're caught in the enemy's tractor beam. We can't escape. I think it might have happened actually in Star Wars to the Millennium Falcon. So the tractor beam is becoming a reality. Here we go. This piece of news coming from giantfreakingrobot.com. Besides the name, it's actually a great geeky or nerdy, freaky publication, and it's great. Researchers led by Professor Hans-Peter Schaub have taken significant strides towards making tractor beams a reality, using electron beams with active or repulsive electrostatic forces to remove space debris from orbit. Yeah. So the idea of a beam of energy that can actually move things, like telekinesis, if you're an X-Man, is becoming a reality. Dude, we're living in the future, man. We're living in the future. They're beaming energy from space. We found out yesterday. And tractor beams are becoming a reality. It's incredible stuff. I actually read a piece of news today, Natch, about a whistleblower from the US government saying that the government has found an alien spacecraft. And I thought I'm going to include it in today's show, but it just seems so unbelievable to me that I need to read the article thoroughly first. Yeah, I find a thing on tractor beams. I'm like, hell yeah, this is for us. This is for the show. If I'm gonna read that UFO article a little more thoroughly, and I'll get back to you on it. Okay, final piece of news for today. Final piece of news for this part of the show. It turns out that chatbots, como ChatGPT, like ChatGPT or Bing Chat, or all the variety, the gambit of chatbots we have right now. It turns out that chatbots are not good at eating disorder counseling. Oof. I'll unpack that for you. So eating disorders, things like, anorexia, things like that. You have a problem, either some kind of body dysmorphia or something, and you don't feel the necessity to eat. You're losing a lot of weight. What would you do? Well, you would maybe call a crisis hotline, right? So I've got this problem. I'm going to call someone who can give me good advice. Well, it turns out that NEDA, the National Eating Disorder Association, fired a lot of its call center staff and replaced them with what, Natch? With a chatbot. True story. This piece of news coming from thecut.com. Another online publication that I'm turning to more and more. Interesting. The Cut. C-U-T. The National Eating Disorder Association has deactivated its new helpline chatbot called Tessa, following concerns that it was providing harmful advice to users with eating disorders. Oh my God. Such as suggesting to restrict calories. Look, I look at myself and I see myself as fat. Restrict calories. Restrict calories. And, not only that, and measure body fat by pinching the skin folds. Jeez Louise now. Imagine, have you ever known anyone with an eating disorder?
Yes, I know one.
Yeah, I know from memory 3, one of which is still a very close friend of mine. And in every case it's a woman. I don't think that has any part to play, but it was in all 3 cases the people that I know are all women. And she said to me, she kind of took me through the whole journey. You wouldn't tell to know her today, but in the past, like I saw photos of, when she was really struggling. The idea that you reach out for help, saying that you see yourself as fat, you don't like the way you look, and that, you're not eating properly and you're starting to get worried. And then the advice you get back is, you should really restrict your calories. I mean, geez Louise, guys. Geez Louise. Okay, let's continue. The decision to disable Tessa, which is the chatbot, which had been operational for only a week, was prompted by user feedback and negative reviews. This incident has raised concerns about the replacement of human helpline staff with AI systems, especially given the surge in eating disorders since the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah. Wow, of course. I mean, what a stressful time. Eating junk food and, a stressful time. I think the pandemic has led to so much psychological harm for so many people. Like a lot of people, you know what I mean? I don't think for everyone. For me, who spends a lot of time alone, I've gotten used to it. But for most people, to spend time like that, trapped, alone, in your apartment, for the first time ever for some people, must have been horrendous. Horrendous. So the National Eating Disorder Association, NEDA, defended its decision to implement the chatbot as a response to volunteers and staff experiencing burnout and the organization's inability to take responsibility for crisis training. So the full story here is that a lot of their human staff who manned the helpline said, they were experiencing burnout, they were working too many hours, they needed more people. A lot of them were volunteers. So what did NEDA do, the National Eating Disorder Association? They fired them. Get out of the building! Open a ChatGPT account. I can't confirm they were using ChatGPT. I don't know what they were using. But they later kind of said, well, look, it wasn't because of that. It was more because we shouldn't be taking responsibility for counseling, especially when the counselors are just normal people, regular people. But here you go. I mean, regular people work way better than a chat robot. It's crazy that this charity had to learn something the hard way instead of using just a modicum, just a pinch of common sense. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Wow, lots of comments here. Yes, only a few of us were cut out for a lockdown or an underwater cabin. True story, Bridge. Only a few of us. I'd be perfect for that. Look, if you're looking for anyone to live underwater for 3 months and to get 10 years younger, I'm your boy. No, what were they thinking? Honestly, yeah, exactly, Nessa. The National Eating Disorder Hotline. Eating Disorder Association, sorry. Of course, because chatbots are well known for their empathy. Unbelievable, says Pedro. I know. Crazy news, crazy world. It's such a hard disease to get through. So many don't make it. It's true. And it's sad. It's sad, and I think social media has a lot to answer for with regards to this in modern times. I know the disorder existed before Instagram, but I do think it has exacerbated the issue. Let's see. It's such a hard disease to get through, says Nessa. Yeah, I agree. Pedro, when I'm chatting with my bank manager via the bank app, I'm pretty sure I'm talking to a chatbot. Yeah, probably, Pedro. The bridge, Rob. Lockdown did me good. I actually lost weight, which I needed to. Probably not. That's from the bridge. Maybe not the most appropriate comment while we're talking about eating disorders, right? I lost so much weight. I'm fabulous. Bridge, we love you here. We love you here. As usual, it all comes down to money. Exactly. I mean, the charity, the National Eating Disorder Association, says it's because the people working there weren't professionals. But God, and a chatbot is a professional? Come on. Well, that's today's news, guys. Let's go head first into today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
All right, my friends, what is an unpopular opinion? It's a brain fart, un pedo cerebral, un pedo mental. We share it with you on our social media, and that is at @professionalbohemian. You guys offer us your opinion on the topic, but the final decision makers are the wonderful humans that join us here live in the chat. Today's unpopular opinion, my friends, is los hombres, men don't compliment each other enough. Men don't compliment each other enough. What do you think? Is that true? Is that false? How do you think people voted on Instagram, Natch?
True.
You think true? Do you think a lot or a little?
Quite a lot.
Yeah, it was. 83% said true. And of the false ones, here's another question. Of the people who voted false, how many of them do you think were men?
The people who made it false, all, everyone. No?
All of them women.
All of them women.
Yeah, isn't that curious? Well, one, I don't know, because there's no profile picture, and the name is kind of doesn't give me any clues. But the rest of them are all women who said no. Curious, man. Curious. And a good mix there in the people who voted true. But a lot of women voted true in this. Let me tell you. I'm not trying to say, oh, look at you, women. No, because a lot of women voted true as well. So is it true? I think so, right? That we don't compliment each other enough. But should we be complimenting each other more? That's the question. Let's see what the elves said. I gave them a thorough whipping this morning. Whoosh! So expect some good pros and cons. Here we go. In the pro list, compliments can be a form of expressing emotions and feelings which are often suppressed in men due to societal expectations around masculinity. Encouraging compliments can promote healthier emotional expression. Compliments can act as positive reinforcement, boosting confidence and self-esteem. By complimenting each other, men can provide support and encouragement. And finally, compliments can create a more supportive and empathetic culture among men, breaking down barriers of communication and helping forge stronger interpersonal relationships. In the con column, disagreeing, saying, men compliment either too much or it's not necessary that they compliment each other more. Here we go. Men have different ways of expressing their appreciation or respect, which may not always be verbal. Encouraging more compliments might overlook these alternative forms of communication. A push for more compliments might lead to forced or inauthentic praise, which could diminish the value of sincere compliments. And finally, while compliments can boost self-esteem, they should not become the primary source of self-worth. Overemphasis on external validation could potentially harm the development of intrinsic self-esteem. Woo! What do you think, Natch? Where is the Oracle leaning on this one?
For me, it's a little bit difficult because I've always thought that compliments about physical appearance are tricky.
Yeah.
If I say to you, "Oh, you look nice today," what that means that the other days,
I had this.
You don't look so nice.
I had this conversation, right? Isabel came over last night. I had this conversation with her. She's like, "What's the unpopular opinion?" I said, "Men don't compliment each other enough," and she says, "It's so right. It's so right. You should." I'm like, "Look, I can't go up to Fitz and say, 'Hey, Fitz, look at that. Woo, look at you today. You cut your hair.' You know what I mean? It's weird." Now, she accused, or I guess the common presumption among women, I guess, is that it's some kind of homophobia. And that's why. Or at least that's the accusation that was thrown at me in a message. And I was like, no, it's not about that. It's not about that. What is it about? Well, we'll get back to that after the break. But right now, we need your opinion. What do you think? Should men compliment each other more? I think so. I think it should be normalized. And I've done it, and I'm going to tell you some stories about when I've complimented other dudes and what the reaction was. All right, my friends. Oh my God, guys, so much fun I'm having this morning. Thank you so much for being here, especially you guys who are joining me live in the chat, twitch.tv/professional bohemian. I will post the poll and you will tell me, do men compliment each other enough? True or false? But so many things you could have been doing this morning. Instead of doing those things, you're here with me. Means the world. See you soon. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind the scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Oh my God, it's a hot topic today. A lot of comments in the chat. An unsurprising result to the poll, but we'll get to that in a second. Guys, thank you so much. A lot of you voting there. I like it. If you just tuned in, what did you miss? We looked at some interesting news today. Firstly, about a man who spent 93 days at the bottom of the Atlantic and came up 10 years younger. Sign me up. I'll live down there for a year, Natch. Take me down there for 5 years. I'll come out a baby. A little baby. Oh, Rob, look at him. I look like Benjamin Button. I don't know how the reverse aging process works, but I like it. Then we looked at the idea of a tractor beam. I would love to know how to say tractor beam in Spanish. I don't think it exists. Let's see, tractor beam. Rayo tractor. No. Tractor beam is not something DeepL can translate. See, this is why you need humans, friends. Okay, let's continue. So the tractor beam, the idea of a beam of energy that can pull things towards it, is becoming a reality. Interesting. And then finally, we spoke about the decision of the National Eating Disorder Association to use a chatbot instead of real humans in disorder counseling, in eating disorder counseling, led to an absolute disaster. My God, makes me angry, man. Like there are some things that humans need to do. Don't get me wrong. Writing BuzzFeed articles, a chatbot can do. I get it. So ChatGPT can fill BuzzFeed full of all the crap it can imagine. But certain things we need humans for. For example, Natch, would you let a robot cut your hair? Like barbers, going to a barber's, would you let a robot do that?
No.
Exactly. Counseling, grief counseling. You want another human. You want something capable of the complex and emotional decision making that can only be given by another living, breathing human being. So yeah, the National Eating Disorder Association, a weird decision there. Weird decision. And then we went to today's surprisingly controversial, unpopular opinion, which was men don't compliment each other enough. I got a ton of messages, and I got involved in a bit of a back and forth about why with a bunch of people. I'm not going to read that back and forth, but I am going to explain myself right here, right now. First of all, a few comments in the chat. In my culture, this is from Raj. In my culture, we do compliment each other, but subtly and respectfully. So I agree, it's not about quantity, it's about meaningful compliments. Andrew, absolutely. As a mental health professional, I think men underutilize emotional expressions, including compliments. And Dylan, we've got to lift each other up, not just women, says Dylan. I don't think it's a competition, Dylan. You can chill out. Dylan, it's not a competition. Yeah, and I think this is why this catches people on the back foot. Because I'm not saying that women need to compliment men more or that women receive too many compliments. I'm saying specifically men don't compliment each other enough. And I think it's a valid conversation to figure out why that is. I have my ideas, which I'll express, and I'm sure you guys in the Twitch chat joining me live doing God's work here. You're doing amazing work, guys. Okay, so let's see where we were. Okay, where are we? Geez, a lot of scrolling, guys. You've done you've done great work. The elves are on fire. Very sound argument, says Pedro. Yeah, they did good work today. I may even let them enjoy an extra 2 minutes of sunshine. Okay, so let's start it off here. Pedro from Instagram. I think the unpopular opinion is true, but wouldn't it be awkward if we start complimenting each other's hairstyle, clothes, skin, good shape? Like, to be in good shape, buena forma, básicamente en español. To be in shape. Wouldn't it be weird if we did that, asks Pedro? Yes, it would. And I know because I've done it. The other day, I complimented Fitz. Well, the other day, it was like maybe a month ago now. We went out for a coffee, both of us, with the boss. And I said, hey, Fitz, nice jacket. Because he was wearing a nice jacket. And I have a nice jacket now. So I feel like I can compliment each other, other men, on the quality of theirs. And I said, hey, Fitz, nice jacket. Is that new? What happened? Awkward silence between him and I, one of my closest friends in Spain, for at least like 5 seconds. He was like, yeah, it's nice. Thanks. I think I've complimented you on your sneakers before, right, Natch? Oh, I like sneakers. I have. Okay. So this is me in my lizard weirdo brain, instead of asking for, instead of trying to kind of, be a good member of society. This is me saying, no, I want to be the kind of guy that compliments other guys. So I am very, very well aware that it creates an awkward sensation. And what I want to get to the bottom of, lo que quiero adivinar, or lo que quiero saber, es el porqué. Why does it feel weird to give another man a compliment? Because it does even now feel weird. And why does it feel weird to receive one from another man? And it's not about, I don't think it's about not wanting to appear like you're attracted to the man. It's not about that. It's much more about you and an inside feeling of, what does masculinity mean for you? As you know, this is a topic that fascinates me. I've done whole shows dedicated to it with Richard Vaughan, for example. And I think the seat of what it means to be a man lives inside this question of why can't men compliment each other? Why can't I say to Natch, hey, Natch, got great haircut today. Have you done something different? You shaved your beard? Looks good, man. You're looking good. Why can't I say that? Natch, hearing that, does that make you feel a little weird?
No, especially today because my saver broke. I need another one.
But would it make you feel weird? It would. It would make me feel weird if it...
Yeah, because we are not used to it, yes.
Because we're not used to it. So here we go. So let's try and get to the bottom of Pedro's question here. Wouldn't it be awkward? Yes, it would, but why? Men don't get enough genuine compliments. It doesn't matter if it's by men or women. Men don't get enough genuine compliments. Ooh, I'm not sure, man. I mean, look, when you're in a relationship, you do get, que guapo estás hoy. You know what I mean? You do get a few compliments. Maybe not as many as you give. But how many do you need, really? I don't think men are conditioned in a way to respond overly positive to compliments anyway. I mean, they happen so infrequently that when it does happen, it makes you feel good for the rest of the week. I remember once at a Vaughan Town, I was working out and I was training a lot at that time. And one of the participants, she grabbed my arm to pull me to see something. And she went, "Oh, look at your muscles." Dude, that was me for a year, man. I was remembering that. I was like, yes, muscles. I've got muscles. It was like for a year. She made my year. So we're not, I guess because we're not conditioned to receive them that often. When they do land, they land hard. Does that make sense to you, Natch? Does that ring true? Like the smallest compliment will have a longer lasting impact for you?
Yes.
Yeah, weird. And I think that's a very masculine thing from what I've from what I've read online. That's a commonality between all men. A compliment that lands will have a more lasting effect. Anyway, let's continue. Men, compliments don't have to be about looks. Generally, compliments about your work ethic, behavior, helpfulness is very appreciated. Yeah, there is a weird kind of contradictory element to this, because I quite often say, "Oh, good work, thanks for that," or "That was very kind thing to say," that kind of thing. I'll give those kind of compliments quite often, and those don't seem to generate in me or in the receiver the same kind of awkwardness as, "Oh, look at those, you pressed your shirt today, look at those pants that you're wearing, my God, he's on fire." That would create more anxiety in me and in the receiver, I think, than just saying, "Oh, wow, you've done really great work today. This is an amazing thing." And that's something I try and say regularly when cuando algo se destaca, when something stands out as, my God, Natch, my Spanish today. When something stands out as particularly kind of extraordinary. So it's weird. Why do we feel bad about when it comes about something physically, something external? Because a common between men, I don't know if it's like this between your friends, Natch, but my friends in England, the people who've known me for years and years and years, we'll do the opposite of compliment each other. Like when I first saw my friend Wayne, I hadn't seen him in 10 years. First words out of my mouth was, "My God, you're getting fat, look at you." "You're going bald." That kind of thing. And he'd laugh and he'd say, "Look, you calling me fat? Look at you. And bald, man." The pot calling the kettle black. Look at you. You look like a pool ball. Pareces un emoji. That kind of thing. And we'd laugh and continue. I mean, that's kind of how we treat each other regarding our physicality. Interesting. Vero says, "We all, men and women, should compliment each other more and often. As I see it, it raises self-esteem." Ooh. Yeah, okay, I'm going to try and be as devil advocate. I'm going to try and be el abogado del diablo, as you say, the devil's lawyer. I'm going to try and be the devil's advocate as much as possible here. So try not to get too angry with me. We all, men and women, should compliment each other more and more often. As I see it, it raises self-esteem. Quite often, in periods of times where I've received an abundance of compliments, and again, I'm going to go to Natch in a second to get his take, because I am quite an unusual guy. So now Natch is like a normal human. It makes me feel, when I get an overabundance, that there is insincerity behind those compliments. I automatically start to think, well, why is this happening all of a sudden? This can't be true. Does that make sense to you, Natch?
Yes, for me, as I said, it's a difficult thing, the complementing physical look or appearance.
Yeah.
I tended to say that I don't like compliments.
Yeah.
Now, on physical appearance, but I totally agree with man, you did a nice work or job, or job being so kind, or job being so professional, or I don't know, or that comment was very intelligent, or I don't know.
That's interesting. So it feels worse. Do you hate physical compliments even from women?
No, but not hate.
Just
but,
it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, well, no, I don't feel uncomfortable, but I don't know. I feel weird, even for me saying to a woman, "You look nice in that shirt."
Yeah.
That is complicated, especially nowadays. Like,
oof, yeah. Which makes it even more it adds an extra element of complexity to this argument, right? Because I completely hear what you're saying there. I used to be very complimentary to all the women that work with me or surround me, friends. Well, maybe not with Andrea. I treat her like a dude, I'm, picking all the time. She picks with me. But I used to be a very complimentary kind of guy. "Oh, wow, look at you today. You look amazing." That kind of thing. And that obviously, over the last 5 years, for every guy, I think we've started to kind of temper that behavior so it wasn't misconstrued, it wasn't misunderstood. There's some kind of sexual advance. Yeah. And that's where 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 extra level of complexity with men complimenting women has come in. But if you were in a relationship, you wouldn't think twice. You know, oh my God, look at you tonight. Oh my God, I better put on some better clothes because you look like a princess. That kind of thing. You know, then it's not a big deal because, you know, you've already established that relationship. But certainly with strangers, yeah. Or strangers or work colleagues, that kind of thing. I wouldn't compliment neither a woman nor a man as much as they perhaps deserve or would like, just out of my own kind of fear of being misconstrued or coming across as, you know, being predatory regarding their physical nature. I don't know. Weird. Let's see. Pedro says, I think the main reason is that we're more sincere than women as to compliments. We don't do it just for protocol. Conversely, when we do it, we mean it. Sorry, women, it's true, says Pedro. It's, yeah, okay. I think the reason, let's unpack that. So what Pedro's saying is that, I don't think he's saying that women are insincere. I just think he's saying that men are very sincere. Just before you get angry at what he's written there. I think the main reason is that we're more sincere than women as to compliments. That's the thing. You see women greeting each other. I kind of get jealous. Oh my God, look at you. Look at your hair. Look at that bag, those shoes. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, geez, man, these two people are going to leave this conversation just feeling like queens. And I've just seen my best mate, called him fat and bald. We've had a hug and that's it. But is there insincerity with regards to that ease with which women compliment each other? Is there insincerity there? I don't know. I can't speak to that because I'm not a woman, and I've not experienced it through that lens. Although I can understand how a man viewing those interactions could see them as potentially insincere, but not being in a woman's body for those interactions. I don't know. I think maybe it's a cultural thing as well, says Nessa. Maybe it could be. Min says, the main compliment I really don't care about is something like, you're smart. Thanks. The best you can compliment me on is something I don't have any control over. Oh, I don't know about that, Min. I think you're a particularly well-read and a well-rounded person who, you know, reads the right kind of articles and cares about his intellectual side, you know, and that is not every person, regardless of men or women, are like that. And it's something I appreciate about you. I'm sure it's something other people appreciate about you. But obviously, if you don't have a wide kind of vocabulary, a gambit of ways to express that, you're smart. Sorry, my accent. You're smart is probably a good shorthand for doing that. Okay, Pedro, says Nessa. If you say it's true, it must be. I think there's a little fight going on between Pedro and Nessa. Ding ding, round 2. It's not the same thing, but when I was working in Ethiopia, I felt super awkward when my customer, a man, took me by the hand. Yeah, in Ethiopia, it's a sign of being friends or being a good host. So it's a cultural thing in the end, says Pedro. Yeah, it could be a cultural thing around Western European men. Maybe that's maybe it's that. But I think there's something deeper. I do honestly believe there's something deeper. Let's see. Tractor in tractor beam comes from attractor, probably, not attractor. Attractor. Attraer. Rather than attract. Rather than tractor, come on. Tractor. Thank you, man. That was the most complicated thing I've ever said on the radio. The ad with Alberto Alonso's voice and the Tio Vivo song in the background is very spooky, by the way. Thanks, Pedro. Let's see. Yes, that music. Okay, let's continue. A relationship is different, though. There's a much lower barrier there. You still give and receive compliments outside of relationships. The fact that small compliments stay with us for years shows that we're probably getting too few. Yeah, I do believe that. I think to a certain sense... Okay, we're going to wrap this up here. Let me get through the rest of the comments. You're from Bradford, says the bridge. Yeah, it's a true story. Nessa, but Rob, that's like what Pedro said about being sincere. It makes me sad to think people might find me not sincere when I'm being honest. Try to defend that point. Don't try to defend that point. Added, sorry women phrase, affirming the initial statement. Guys, don't get angry with each other. This is a safe space for us to express ourselves. Even if we're wrong or people don't agree, you've heard me say some weird nonsense, and you don't hate me, and I don't hate you. Let's share that feeling with the rest of us. Okay, here we go. I get what you mean, though. Maybe You're Smart wasn't the best example. Something like, I like your height would have been a better example. Yeah, okay, man. Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's bring this to a close. First of all, how did you guys land on this? The unpopular opinion was men don't compliment each other enough. Let's get a little drum roll. 100% true. All right. I don't think the question here is about sincerity or insincerity. I think for me, and again, I'm probably going to ask Natch as my barometer for normal humans, if he agrees with this at the end. For me, as a man, I feel I need to be self-sufficient and detached from my own physicality. And, like my value comes from what I have to offer in ways other than my appearance. Which is why when I receive a comment like, wow, you're working really hard, wow, great job on this, great job in doing that project, when I receive that kind of compliment, it speaks to a part of me that I think is the seat of my value. Okay? And I completely disregard the physical part of me. I'm not even the kind of guy who comes in wearing a shirt and traje, a suit, when a lot of my colleagues do. For me, my outward appearance, and I think this kind of echoes for quite a lot of men, is not where our value to society lies. I'm not saying that's a true statement or a false statement. I'm saying that's my perception. My value isn't in my external appearance. It is in what I can offer the world. And I think that's why, when of all the things I could receive a compliment about, if it's about, oh, I like your shirt. Oh, look at you, you've shaved your beard in just such a beautiful way today. Especially if it came from another man, it would feel awkward, because I would expect that man to understand fundamentally that where I see my value coming from should be the same as his. Does that make sense to you, Natch?
Yes, absolutely.
So how do we break down those barriers? Because it is true. I think most men, you get one good, sincere compliment, it will last you a long time. So how do we break down those barriers? We normalize it, man. We normalize it. The only reason why we don't do it, why we have this perception that our value comes from just what we can provide, and we can't enjoy the fact that we may look good a particular day. The only reason that happens is because that's been drilled into us, culturally speaking, for most of our lives. So how do we change that fact? Simple. Simple, friends. We start to compliment each other more. And that's it. So 100% of you said true, my friends. 100% of you said true. And I would agree. And those are my final thoughts on today's unpopular opinion. We've completely skipped through 100 humans. Let's go to complete the news.
Complete the news!
Min says, it's always difficult to talk for other people, especially when it comes to something so intrinsic as sincerity. In the end, you have nothing but your own frame of reality and how you perceive things within that. I don't know what someone else feels when they say that they are sincere. I don't know. Exactly, Min. I agree. Nessa, it has to do with that other unpopular opinion we talked about. What does it mean to be a man? That has to change. Yeah, I agree. I think our ideas as men with regards to ourselves need to change, you know? And I feel it. All right then, guys, let's go to today's Complete the News. I give you a news headline, un titular. You guys try and complete the news with the 3 options I provide. As I promised at the top of the show, we're going to go to Barbie. The Barbie film required so much blank. The Barbie film required so much blank, it contributed to a worldwide shortage. So making the film, it needed so much of this one thing that the rest of the world had fewer. But what was it? Was it A, pink paint? B, plastic jewelry? Or C, spray tan? Spray tan is, ¿cómo se dice? Spray tan, Nach.
Bronceador.
Bronceador, that's it. So, the Barbie film required so much blank, it contributed to a worldwide shortage. Was it A, pink paint, B, plastic jewelry, or C, spray tan? Woo-hoo-hoo! What do you think, Nach?
Plastic jewelry.
Plastic jewelry. Oh, you're alone in that one, Natch. You're alone. For now, C is in the lead. I will salute Min for being the only person to say pink paint. Should we do it? Okay, let's do it. Barbie film required so much. A, pink paint. Well done. Oh. Well done. Well done, man. There you go. The up-and-coming Barbie film, directed by Greta Gerwig and starring Margot Robbie in the titular role, required such a vast quantity of pink paint during its production that it exhausted an entire company's global supply. You know, what do I know? I thought the Lego movie would be trash, and it ended up being one of my favorite animated movies of all time. So maybe the Barbie movie has some surprises for us. Friends, but sadly, that's all we've got time for today. Oh my God, guys, so many things we could have done today. So many. But instead of doing those things, you decided to take the time to spend some time with Natch and I, and it means the world. Thanks, guys.